Hello, family, friends, and fans. I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and this is the Five and Dime track by track. I'm looking at my 2011 release. It was remastered and re released in 2024, along with a lot of my other records, my earlier stuff. I use Audible to do my mastering, by the way. Audible. You should check that out. This particular record it's a double length record, it's like a double album. And it was my first CD that I released. It's a compilation of my best recordings from 2005 to 2010. I did a variety of indie type pop records in that time, but I was actually at home pressing the DVDs myself, burning DVDs, pressing on the decals, the labels, and then manufacturing them for my fans at home. Then Create Space came around, and I took the best of those 4 or 5 CDs onto one, and it's called The Five and Dime. All right, so this song, Jawbone Hill. This is one of the first Christian songs I wrote. When I became a Christian, I had a road to Damascus moment. I won't go into it, but it was a big thing, and I decided I'm gonna write songs about this now. The first song I wrote was um, "This Much I Know," as I recall, and I think maybe "On the Wings of an Angel" was the last one. I'm not sure, but "Jawbone Hill" was somewhere in the middle. Third song, maybe third song I wrote, and it's from the Bible. It's the story of Samson and how sacrificed uh, he sacrificed his life for to prove his faith and for the to free his people from the Philistines. So, uh, Samson, Jawbone Hill. This song was originally recorded differently. Most of these songs are either the recorded version that I did in my home studio or they're live. And those are generally in front of Mount Hollywood Congregational Church. But this one had a different trajectory. What happened is I recorded an EP of very austere, not very austere, but fairly austere recordings called On the Wings of an Angel, 5 songs. The first 5 that I wrote, basically. And they were very light on instruments: drums, bass, rhythm guitar, piano, vocals. That's it. And it was really popular. It proved to be a really popular little disc among my friends. And my new friends at church, not my regular friends, not really. Well, some of them. So anyway, this song was one of them, and then I did more recording. And a few years after, when I was at a lodger at Robbie Rist's house, like 2013, I recorded an album, a gospel album called Elijah Rock, which was all new recordings of my version of gospel songs, which of course were all different than the originals. Uh, Dear Lord Forgive was done as a power pop song. Uh, Poor Wayfaring Stranger was done as a reggae song. So I like to flip songs around in arrangements. So I did that for my gospel rock album called uh, Elijah Rock. And one of those songs, I decided I would cover my own song, Jawbone Hill. The thing is about Elijah Rock is you can't get it from DistroKid, which is my distribution company, because they charge for cover songs. And I already pay just to be a part of the deal and have my distribution come out. I'm not going to pay to have cover songs. So you can get Elijah Rock for free. But what I decided is I would do Jawbone Hill on this album, Elijah Rock, and give it a better treatment. Not so austere, not so thin, more guitars, more solos, more piano, more of everything. And I did that and I liked it. And then when I was remastering this record in 2024 for re release, I decided to swap out the newer, better version of Jawbone Hill for the older one. So this one is not live. I don't think I ever performed this song live. And it's not the original recording, it's a second recording of the same song, Jawbone Hill. Now, when it came out on the EP a few years earlier, well, a few years before it was recorded, a decade or so before it was released as it is. Everybody said Jawbone Hill. A lot of people said that was their favorite song on the EP, on the 5-song EP. Now that recording doesn't exist anymore anywhere around, but they liked the song, and I like it too. It's like Jesus on My Side. It has that minor minor key, mid tempo, kind of a lumbering thing that's hard to. It's got a swagger. It's got like a lumbering swagger to it musically, which I favor. I like that, and uh, and this song, it's it's biblically literate. A lot of my Christian songs are not just "Oh, I love you, Jesus." They're biblical oriented. They're literate because I'm a biblically literate person, and I'd read a part of the Bible that I liked, and it would inspire me to write a song about it. So that's the way a lot of these songs are. It's not just "Oh Jesus, you're so grand." You know what I mean? I mean, he is grand and all that, but that's not what these songs are. These songs get more particular and they're more literate. And this song is fresh out of the Bible, baby. Old Testament, too. Don't think that because you're a Christian, you can throw away the Old Testament. We got the Ten Commandments in the Old Testament, the Book of Psalms, Old Testament. Don't be trashing on the Old Testament, you New Testament Christians. And also, it's funny how the New Testament Christians, some of them, I was at a progressive church where one of the people who helped run it wasn't sure if the Old Testament counted as part of the Bible. I said, of course it does. Without the context of the Old Testament, the New Testament church, the New Testament doesn't make any sense. The New Testament makes no sense without the Old Testament. It's got no context. And also, it's funny because the same new New Testament Christians, you know, they New Covenant Christians, we'd say, some of them don't even think that the Old Testament belongs in canon, and yet they'll go right to Leviticus or Deuteronomy when it suits their purposes. And those are, of course, Old Testament books. But let's not get too deep into the whole thing. It's all for the love of God, after all, is it not? And that's the way this song was written and prepared and sung. Enjoy it. There's a link below. There's a link on the overview webisode to the whole album. You can check that out. This is The Five and Dime, the best of 2005 to 2010, track by track. Enjoy Jawbone Hill. And until next time, bye, Mary.